Well, I want to see greater collaboration between the university and the union to communicate events. So one of the main things on my manifesto is to have UBU information points and sort of like stands or boards up at university and sort of university sites, so the AS or Wills or whatever, so people can look at them and see what's actually going on in the union, because obviously physically they're quite far apart, but so they feel quite disconnected. I quite like to connect the two sites in people's minds.
I would make it so you know where you went wrong in your exams, so you know where you got those marks and where you didn't get the marks. I find at the moment too many people have just gone, I got 60 out of 100 or something, and I don't know where I went wrong, so there's no way to know how you can self-improve in the future and make sure you know one topic better than, say, another topic you may know well.
I would probably improve the website, because I think it should play host to a lot more. It should play host to a lot more collaborations with organisations in the city of Bristol. So I would try and collaborate with Ticketmaster to host local gigs on the website, and with Bristol Festival Ideas to host speaker series on the website as well. Because I think that the main problem with union communications, it's not the social media presence, it's actually the content. If we want students to engage with the union, we need to give them a consistent stream of information.
I think the thing I would change would be kind of how we communicate with students, because I think especially from the students' union point of view, a lot of people don't know what's going on here and what's happening. So a couple of things I want to do is kind of better kind of integration with my Bristol and UBU, so students know what's going on in the students' union, that can be easily available. So I think a lot of good stuff does go on here, but a lot of students don't know it's happening.
Probably something to do with room bookings, because they are just such a problem and they affect so many people, and they're just really frustrating. And I think that it would just make it a lot smoother for people trying to get involved with societies, because obviously societies are really important, because that's where you make your best friends and the people that you have things in common with, and hopefully develop skills that will help you in your career. So society is really important to me in terms of making them run more smoothly. So, yeah.
The biggest thing I'd change about the university relative to my role is actually the role of the union, because the union really is on the up at the moment. It's great, but it's still not an integral part of university life. Most students can just drift through the entirety of their university life and not know what the union had to offer, and I think that's a real pity, because there is so much it can do. So once we have the correct procedures and the right way to engage with students in place, then the union really needs to put itself out there, go and talk to students so that they know what it has to offer, and then they can make that choice as how to engage.
Over the last year, I've become a lot more involved in the union. So I started working in the bar as a supervisor. I'm treasurer for one of the societies, and I'm quite heavily involved in sort of performing arts societies. So I've kind of become a lot more aware of how the union's run, and I've spent a lot more time in this building. So I'm kind of I'm at a good position to see how it's run, but also where things need to change. So and I love Bristol, that's my last point really.
Running for Union Affairs, mainly because of trying to do student events in the union, it's just become so challenging recently. Having worked with my society, which I'm greatly involved with, we've come across countless times with other societies of not being able to get into rooms, and I believe it's simple problems with simple solutions which aren't getting fixed and make a big difference to how students use the union building as a whole.
It's a really big year for the union, actually, because with the reopening of the building we can be a lot more ambitious, and I think that by expanding what the union does in being the link between student and city, and also by really promoting the student voice, I want the student activism I want to really back student activism as Union Affairs Officer. So I think by focusing on those 2 points, I can improve communications, democracy, and the student experience as well.
So currently I'm the Student Living Officer, and it's been immensely rewarding and achieved a lot of things. what I'm most passionate about is making a students' union that works for all students. So that's why I believe I'm the right candidate with the experience to kind of hit the ground running and make the change that the union needs around three key areas around communication and democracy, access to societies, and events.
Just because I'd already looked into a lot of the union bylaws and just general union rules and things, and found them really interesting. And I've been involved in the committee for Tubbs for 3 years, so I understand how to run things, and I can see how to improve things, and I really want to do that. And yeah, I'm just quite sort of passionate about improving the student experience.
I'm running for Union Affairs because over the past year I have been the Party Officer Chair of Student Council. That's given me a real good feel for how the democratic structure works at the union and what could change from that. I've also been a club captain, so I believe how to change things for societies to make lives easier for them, to just get them doing what it is they want to do. And so in that regards, the Union Affairs role was the perfect fit.
Well, the last song I played on iTunes was No One Is Alone from the Into the Woods soundtrack.
The last song I played on iTunes was Biffy Clyro's Know Your Quarry.
That'll be, I think that's Out of the Black by Royal Blood.
Last night I played One Direction, best song ever.
A mix-up of a load of different soundtracks from the Peter Pan 2003 live action.
The last song I played on iTunes was a live cover of They Might Be Giants' Birdhouse in Your Soul.